Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new installment of AV Veterans Talk. I'm your host, Bob Alvis, and this week we're talking with Tom Bunce, Lockheed and NASA engineer and photographer, and also a resident of the Antelope Valley. Hey there, we're going to visit today with Tom Bunce. How you doing, Tom?
Hey, good.
I've known you for quite a few years. I was just trying to figure out how in the world you and I ever met years ago.
2007, P-38.
P-38, that's right.
I got interested in trying to build my own little flight simulator, and I would need to get the cockpit, and you had the cockpit.
Yeah, you did, and you came out and you took all kinds of photography, and came out and did a whole photo shoot out in my backyard, didn't you?
Yeah, I did like a 360 panorama.
Yeah. So you still got that stuff?
Probably somewhere.
Yeah.
I've got like 20 hard drives full of photos, so it's somewhere.
Somewhere out there, yeah. So because I remember those days, and after that, you and I just kind of we just kept running into each other in aviation events around the valley, whether it was air shows or gatherings with P-38 or Chino, Planes of Fame, and stuff. And you've obviously got a knack for aviation. It's a passion of yours because you become a photographer and travel around and do things like that. But looking back, you have come to find out, just in a casual conversation, as we say, your aviation background and aerospace and stuff is pretty interesting. I thought, wow, stuff I never know that. I have to drag you onto the show and find out stuff. But you grew up in Indiana, right?
Yes.
What parts of Indiana?
A small town called Griffith near Chicago.
Griffith.
Yeah, northwest corner of Indiana.
Yeah, and growing up in Indiana, aviation, aerospace, and stuff, was it something you planned on getting into, or?
Well, I grew up during the Apollo program, so I saw that going on.
Yeah.
And I was under the flight path of airplanes going to Midway.
Right.
And so that was back in the days when they would hold, and so they'd circle over my house.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had a small town airport, so I'd see small airplanes all the time.
Yeah.
So I was always looking up.
There you go. So you had your sights on the sky there. So,
yeah.
So you went to school back there, graduated, and you went to Purdue University.
Right.
And what was your discipline there? Was that?
Well, I got a bachelor's of science in aeronautical and astronautical engineering.
Nice.
Usually you just call it aerospace.
Aerospace. So good. And of course that leads to my first job somewhere. In how in Indiana, or you graduate from Purdue. Do you just start sending out applications around the country to different aviation companies?
Yeah. That was back in the days when you just sent a resume out and hoped you get a response.
Yeah.
And I sent one to Lockheed in Houston, and they had the contract for engineering support with Johnson Space Center. So I started working there.
Yeah. And that was probably kind of an exciting time, I guess.
Yeah. It was part of the return to flight.
Yeah.
So we were looking at the drag chute, and they were adding the drag chute at that time.
Yeah.
And then also testing tire failures and making sure that, or what's the shuttle going to do if a tire goes low? All that weight's going to fail the tire. What's going to happen at that point?
Right. So, and you say back to flight, so that was after the Challenger, or the Challenger explosion. Was Columbia.
Yeah, Challenger.
Yeah, Challenger was the first one.
Right.
And that was back to flight after that time period, right? So you got to get involved there. And it's funny, you were talking about stuff that I guess technology is constantly advancing, and what they had before then, and now you're coming in and you're doing some pretty interesting work on things like drag chute deployment, like you were mentioning there, to where in a flight simulator now it's so detailed that. What years were we talking about there? About 19?
This was early 90s.
Early 90s?
Yeah, at Lockheed.
Yeah.
During all this part.
Lockheed. And so, once again, technology is constantly advancing to where you get more detailed, I guess, with the way things play out in a craft like that. So, anyway, that's good stuff. So, we'll talk a little bit stuff about that stuff. So, Luke and I will take our first break, okay, and we'll come right back and reset, and we'll talk a little bit about flight simulators.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back here.
I'm Bob Alvis, and thanks for joining us for this segment of AV Veterans Talk.